Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And please help me welcome Daphne of Relax with Daphne.
Thank
Hello,
you.
how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for inviting me on your channel. Or did I invite myself? It was because it was because you said something so fascinating at the last Shine Your Light, and I'm very excited that you're going to be doing that again this Saturday, next Saturday, the
Yes,
29th.
yes,
You were talking about a past life in Mesoamerica.
yes.
And I'm so curious to learn about that I wanted to have this conversation with you about past lives. And I'll just tell you from my perspective as an energy medicine practitioner, I am really interested in how exploring our past lives can heal us
Yes,
and our family group and our ancestral line and our family line.
yes.
So I'd love to hear your story.
Well, yeah, it was rather unexpected the way that things happened, and it was a good number of years ago. So it was well before I kind of got um, into allowing my abilities to come through, or before I fully accepted them. They were always there. I knew that they were always there, but I just kind of suppressed it. So, yeah, that it's um, two trips to Mexico, and oh man, they were quite something. So, but before I get into that, I just want to say a quick hello to everyone who has joined us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. And I have Daphne's channel information and whatnot in the description of the video. So please go and make sure that you subscribe to her channel as well. And more than welcome to please subscribe to mine. And the those of you that are here, um, I know that some of you already have questions about past lives. We will do our best to get to them, if we can, if time permits. The whole idea behind this collaboration was so that you can learn more about Daphne and what she offers, and also to let you know that each and every one of you can access exactly what we do, and hopefully we'll give you some of the tools to allow you to do that. So I will also ask you at the end of the show, if you can, please go and leave a comment under the video. It really helps a lot, helps with the algorithm, helps us to get out in front of people who want to hear what we have to say. They just don't know where we are. So that's kind of the business end of things. I'll also remind you, if you're interested in booking a reading with me or finding out about some of the classes that I have, you can go to marinasheartcentertarot.com, and it's a fabulous website. Honestly, it truly is. Val from Dragonfly Crystals sprinkled her magic all over it, and I just love it. So go take a look. Think about getting yourself in for a reading so that you can have a better perspective of some of the things that might be coming up in 2026. That way, there aren't too many surprises, right? You can kind of be prepared for certain things. It's also a great gift to consider gifting to someone who would maybe benefit by a reading, um, but they would never do something like that for themselves. So you can, on the website, you can purchase a gift card. It's all done through email and whatnot, and whoever it is that you're gifting with this will get an email. It will let them know how to go ahead and access that, and then they can decide if they want, do they want a reading, do they want to take a class, do they want a combination of both, whatever works. And what you're giving them is more than just a gift. You're giving them an experience, something that they are always going to remember, right? Rather than another trinket to put on the shelf, or you know along those lines. So there you go. That's what I have to say. And Daphne, you have a website as well.
Well, I haven't had Val sprinkle her magic on my website, so I'm sending people to my YouTube channel, which is Relax with Daphne, and that's where I'm exploring a number of themes, including intention meditation, flower essences, sound healing, Reiki, all the things. So I do some tarot over there as well. So
Fabulous. See,
thank
there you
you.
go, guys. That's one of the reasons that you want to subscribe to Daphne's channel, and so that you'll know whenever she's doing presentations, videos, whatever collaborations, you'll know. So there we go. That's the business end of things now out of the way. Okay. So how did I discover about that past life? Well, um, I was I was married the first, well, both times that went to Mexico, I was married. Not, not a very, not a very happy marriage as far as I was concerned. But I couldn't quite put my finger on what was wrong. There wasn't anything that I could say. I just didn't quite feel it. So, um, the first time that we went down to Mexico, um, we were in Mexico City, and a friend of ours took us to Teotihuacan, which is the pyramids just outside of Mexico City. And I felt an energy there, didn't exactly know what it was. So the first trip, I climbed the Pyramid of the Moon. And when I got to the top and I looked around, it was like, oh man, I've been here before. Just uh now what? Now what? It's for a few seconds there was that panic that there was something that I had to do, and I wasn't quite sure what exactly that was. I just knew that I had been there before. And so we came home, and things didn't get any better. They didn't get any worse. And anyway, a couple of years later, we're back down in Mexico. This time, I climbed the Pyramid of the Sun. And at that point, we had a foreign exchange student from Australia that was staying with us for a high school year. And she went on the trip with us. And when we got to the top, I sat down, and she looked at me and she said, Marina, what's wrong? And I said, why? And she said, you look like you just lost your best friend. What's wrong? And the message that came in very, very clearly was, your life is about to change. It is a profound change, and nothing will be the same. Nothing will be the same. I also very clearly felt myself being inside the pyramid, and I was working with um, I was working with other females, and we were getting small children ready for sacrifice. That it bothered my soul. I could not come to terms with that for the longest time. Um, so yeah, we left Mexico, went back home, and within about a month, I'd say I I started to remember more and more about that lifetime, and the fact that while I was participating in what was going on as a high priestess, I was also removing children from there, and very surreptitiously, and just pointing them in a different direction. And so I thought, okay, all right, that makes more sense to my soul to be doing that than to be um, participating in something that in this lifetime didn't make any sense to me. In previous lifetimes, that was normal. That, as horrific as it is, that was something that people truly believed in, and they didn't see it as something that was wrong or somehow inhumane. They saw it as part of daily life. So that kind of helped a little with that transition. Um, and then, yeah, that October for my birthday is in October. And on my birthday, I sat my husband down and I said, "This marriage is over." Like, and no one was more shocked than he was. Um, and it was like, no, this isn't working. I am not living the life that I should be living. I'm not living my truth. This has to end. And it did. It was absolutely a life-changing event. So I allowed my spirituality to come back. It had been there. It had been with me all my life. The difference was that once I got married, my ex, he loved to ask me things like, "Oh, there's something weird going on at work. Or, are you getting anything? What are you picking up? What's happening?" And then at the same time, when we would get together with other friends or groups or whatnot, he'd be the first one to say, "Oh, you better be careful. She's a witch." And having had several lifetimes where being a witch did not end well for me, it didn't sit well. So anyway, yeah, that was kind of the part of the story of knowing about that. And then I had that confirmed later on when I had my Akashic records read. And yes, absolutely, I was in Lemuria, I was in Atlantis, and then I was in Mesoamerica. So yeah.
Well, I love it. There's you've highlighted two ways that you can access past lives: a spontaneous remembering brought on by being in the physical location. I've had that as well. I went to a museum in Berlin called the Pergamon, and I turned the corner and they have this massive installation called the Ishtar Gate. And it's this huge tiled entryway to a former city from the Middle East. And I was knocked out of my shoes by that experience. I knew I had been at that gate before.
Yes.
And had arrived there and had looked at it and had been just as wowed in a past life. And going into your Akashic records, which, by the way, I fell into the Akashic records accidentally. I didn't know I could do that, but you can. If I can do it, everyone here can do it.
Yes.
There's also one of my favorite ways to access past lives is with intention meditation. So I practice a form of intention meditation made popular by a science writer named Lynn McTaggart, and she wrote a book called The Power of Eight. So I have a group of people that we get together and we meditate together. And sometimes I'll say, let's intend to go to a past life, explore it, and heal something. And part of what I think is really magical about doing that is you have a little bit of control because you know what you want to have healed, but you also have some major surprises. Like, I had been really suffering with a neck injury. I was in a car accident when I was younger, never got better. Everything I did made it worse. And I had this, we did a meditation to go back to a past life and heal something. And I found myself standing underneath an acacia tree on the African veldt. And I was watching the sunrise come up, and I must have been quite young, early teenager, because my body felt perfect. You know how energetic and no
Yes.
aches and pains. You're totally free when you're younger. And I was just standing there watching the sun and wiggling my toes in the dust. And wham, I was face down. And then I was a few feet away watching a leopard have me for breakfast.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought was, wow, that's interesting, right? I was unconcerned because, this life is temporary and we are all going to go home. We've been here many times. We're going to go home many times. So death is nothing to be feared. And after that meditation, my neck was so much better for at least 2 years, I would say. It was perfect, and I didn't need any chiropractic adjustments. I didn't need massage. It was fantastic. The first time I went to explore a past life, I went to a hypnotherapist. And I had to talk her into doing the past life exploration because she was more about, I'll help you stop smoking. I'm like, I don't smoke, but I want to see a past life. And it was a surprising journey because I didn't know what to expect, because in the day I was curious about it, but I had no understanding what clues I already had about my past lives.
Yes.
Like I had affinities for certain time periods in history. I had certain talents. I had certain physical characteristics. And those are all clues to what your past lives may have been. So anyway, she does the whole thing. I wind up in Rome in the 1500s, early 1500s, and I'm a man. And I'm shocked because I had no idea you could go back and forth at that point. Yes. But you can, and you do.
Yeah.
And at the I was something of a courier. I would escort clients over the mountains to the next city state, and my partner and I had taken on these clients that were kind of bad people, and we knew it, but the money was good, so we were going to risk it. So we're halfway across to the other mountains. And the client pulls a knife. He's going to stab my partner, and I step in front of it, and I am stabbed in the stomach and I die. And as soon as I am crossed over, I understand that the entire point of that life was to be more than friendship, to step into brotherhood, right? Like I was so happy that I had the opportunity to protect my friend. Now he probably died after that too. Who knows? And I wasn't concerned at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I had. You don't. I mean, I played my part. I played my role on the stage, and after that, it was so interesting because I was 35 when I had that reading or that hypnotherapy, and I had a 2-inch long birthmark on my stomach my whole life. And the next day it was gone. Like that was where I got stabbed in that life.
Yes.
And it was gone after that. So it's just, that's what got me thinking, like, wow, you can really heal things. You can change your physical body by going to a past life and resolving it.
Yes.
Right? Like, I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time on that past life to discover the themes that I needed to heal, because it was so profound to understand that I willingly sacrificed my life for him.
Yes.
That's all I needed to know about that. Didn't need to go back. But there are other lifetimes that I'm exploring that are part of a complicated tapestry that's cycling through about 3,400 years and is wrapping up in this lifetime. So the themes that opened up 3,400 years ago in Greece, look at my name. I'm not Greek. I'm the only person in my family who has this weird name, right? But it was a clue, and your name might also be a clue to your past lives. And languages that you speak, things that have always sounded like so romantic to you. There's a lot of ways to get clues, and then you can go exploring in that way. My favorite way to explore past lives at this point is with flower essences, which
Oh,
sounds bizarre, right? Like, why would you do that? Well, the thing is that plants are our elders on this planet. They
yes,
have been with us our entire evolution. And paleontologists will tell you that what people used to eat in paleo days were plants, right? And yes, if you were lucky enough to catch something, I don't know if any of you have tried to like go out and hunt something to eat and catch it and kill it. It's not easy. It's much easier to pick fruit and to grow grains and to dig up roots, right?
yes,
So we mostly eat plants. And the information that our bodies take in with a plant builds this body. They eat light, we eat them. We are partaking in that nourishment from the sun. So the way to do that is to just sit down with intention, choose a flower essence, and I would choose one plant at a time, not a blend. Just
yeah,
choose one plant at a time, something that calls to you. Take the flower essence and ask to be shown any relevance to a past life. And I've
yes,
had some of the most extraordinary journeys doing that. It takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you spend 10 or 15 minutes writing it down so that you don't forget. And it is just such a joy to explore past lives that way. And the plants that I've been working with have taken me through like a series of past lives so that I understand the tapestry and I understand the consistent themes that are going on and what I'm here to wrap up. And
hmm,
I was looking at some of the questions that you start, and people were like, well, "Who was I in a past life?" and "What do I need to know?" And the first thing I want to say is that there are no small lives. They are all spiritually significant. Even
yes,
if you were an infant who breathed one breath on this planet, you had a spiritual lesson that was part of the tapestry of your relationships, your parents, everyone around you. It really matters. So if you explore past life and there you are not famous, you are not the pharaoh, you are not a queen, you're not rich, you don't even have all your teeth, it's totally fine. You still had a meaningful, important, key life that is with you even now. And that just gave me chills. So I guess
absolutely.
I guess the guides really wanted people to appreciate every moment that you have on this planet, regardless of your social status. It doesn't matter.
No,
Being famous, not important at all. Being
no,
awake to the possibilities of your soul, that is what's so meaningful in this life.
yeah, because that is what we take when we transition. That is what we take with us, not the stuff,
Yeah.
not the title, not the name, not any of it. That all, think of it as, we're, yes, we're all actors on the stage. Each one of us has a role to play, and that role comes with a certain look. It comes with certain clothing, with certain knowledge, and so on. So you put that on when you're an actor. When the performance is over, you don't take that with you. You take it off and you go on your merry way. So, you know, yeah, I absolutely agree. There is nothing insignificant in this lifetime, and it's hard sometimes for people to understand. Well, we there were certain things that we wanted to learn. That's why we came down here, and very often, I know people will say, "Well, who would choose to come down here and suffer?" It's not no one would choose to suffer, but everyone would choose to learn a lesson. And if that lesson is presented in the framework of something being unpleasant, then that is how it is presented to you. And you always have a choice. You can always turn that around. You can always um, appreciate whatever is being shown to you, offered to you, and so on. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think anytime we have suffering and we're enduring suffering, we have an opportunity to make it sacred
Yes.
and to dedicate the merit of your suffering
Yeah.
to something higher, bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
And that is not easy to do, especially if you're in deep physical suffering.
Yes.
But finding a way to make it meaningful, make it sacred, we learn faster that way, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we do. And
Yeah.
it's you said a couple things that poof, that the light went on with me. And yet when you said about being a leopard's breakfast, a similar experience. And that again, years ago, I started to find that um, I was losing strength in my left side. Like sometimes my leg wouldn't stand up, or anyway, it felt like I was losing something on that side. So of course, battery of tests and whatnot, and there they found that I had a little lesion on my cerebellum. And after seeing a specialist, she said, it is so close to the cerebellum that going in and doing surgery may make things a lot worse. So, it's think about it. Think about it. But at this point, I would say just don't do anything for the time being.
Wow.
At the same time, my sister was very involved with the Native community here, and she had heard that there was a shaman coming up from New Mexico, and that he was a healer. She was close friends with the chief of the particular tribe close to us, and so she asked him, would I be would they include me in this healing? And they said yes. So on and if you know anything about the way that native culture works, there is no such thing as a clock or time. It's like, yeah, you get a phone call. Okay, can you come now? Okay. Right. And you get there and it's like, we're waiting for something to happen at a particular hour, and it's like it happens when it happens. Anyway, so I meet this shaman, and I'm the first one to go in, and he's putting down a blanket, and he's got different colored sand and stones, and he's drawing things on this blanket. And he looked at me and he said, depending how this goes, we'll decide if the healings go on. And I thought, oh, okay. All right. So when he was done, he said to the chief, okay, yeah, we can go. And he went through some a few ceremonies, some things that I didn't understand, but you know what, I was there. I'm in your hands. Do whatever. And at one point, he got behind me and he said, okay, I just want you to relax, but I think I know what it is. I said, okay. And the next thing I know, his mouth is on my neck. And the first thought that I had was, oh, that's what a gazelle feels like when it's being, oh, okay. But again, there was not, I was aware of it, but there was nothing with it. It's just give in to the process. There is no fear, give in to the process. And he was there for a little while. And now he's behind me. The chief is kind of next to him. My sister, who went with me, is in front of me watching this whole thing. And all of a sudden, he spit something into his hand, and it was like a little piece of bone. And he said, okay, it's all gone. He said, yeah, you probably don't remember, but yeah, he said, you fell off the stairs. I don't know. You were 9, 10 years old and you kind of knocked something in your neck. That's all it was. It's gone. It's okay. And I was floored. I was absolutely floored. So my sister and I walked away going, was that real? Did we really just go through that? My next appointment with the neurologist, I had to go, of course, for the MRI and the different things. And when I got in her office, she said, "What did you do?" And I said, "What? I don't know. What did I do? Where? What?" And she said, "It's not there. It's gone. It's not there." And what happened? I said, "Okay, I'll tell you, but you're not going to believe me." And so I told her what happened. And she said, "How it happened, I don't care. It's not there. You're okay."
Yes.
And
That's fantastic.
it, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. And
Thank
just
you.
to think that things and people aren't connected and so on, that would have been probably about 25 years ago. That particular doctor was very good friends with someone that I met about 5 years ago who did my first QHHT session. And yeah, part of that came up in that session. So you think things aren't connected? Oh, yes, they are.
They are. That is a fantastic story. Thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. And you really are bringing home to me the role of trusting and allowing in this type of healing, and especially using past lives and just the past, right? Like
Yes.
you hurt yourself as a child and you had an opportunity for your path to cross this shaman's.
Yes.
Yeah, remarkable. So
Yeah.
remarkable. And
Fabulous.
we don't have to wait for a shaman to come up from another country to
Yeah.
heal ourselves. So going in and exploring your past lives, asking for them to heal something in this life. And I would also encourage you to say you only need to know things that are going to be helpful and useful,
Yeah.
right? You don't need to know that in a past life you did things that you wouldn't have been proud of today because either you weren't going to eat, right? Like think about how many people in Victorian England were
Mm-hmm.
desperate people, right? And did
Yes.
lots of things that weren't acceptable then, aren't acceptable now, and yet most of us did whatever it took,
Yes.
So you
That
don't necessarily need to revisit that. You just need to go to the moment where you need the healing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that when we are remembering past lives, we take I want to say we take the emotion out of it. We don't, it's not really taking the emotion out. We take our attachment to the emotion away so that we can witness what is happening, but there is no fear. There is no overriding emotion that makes you stop. It's like watching a movie. You can say, "Oh, okay, that's interesting. That wow, I
Yes.
that makes sense to me now." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the change comes in. That's when things where you can heal not only past lives, but in this lifetime as well.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and I would think that the only reason to spend time on past lives
Yeah.
is to heal this life, because now is the only time you can act, right?
Yes.
This is the time for you to grow spiritually. This is the time to overcome those challenges, put these things behind you. And we're in a time of acceleration.
Mhm.
So, in the past, people would have to spend years in analysis, years meditating to be
Yeah.
able to do this stuff. We don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the turbo switch has been flipped.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's um yeah, things are happening exponentially in our growth, and um, it kind of is surprising, and yet it's not. That, you know, how many of us in this community have found each other, have found that support system, that positivity, that the the encouragement that you're not crazy, you're not making stuff up, um, that we are being supported, where for years and years and eons we were told that our gifts were something that we need to hide, right?
Sad,
Yes.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the human brain is hardwired for not only intuition, but also for mental telepathy
Yes.
and traveling, non-local consciousness. I've been in a seminar for the last couple of days about the biofield and healing and neuroscience and
Mhm.
the electric body and the pain body and et cetera, et cetera. And science and intuition are colliding. Now, it
Absolutely.
is one of the most exciting times to be alive. So, anyone who's watching this, anyone who is in the comments, I want to encourage you to have agency and take yourself on the journeys you want to go on and trust and believe what images you're getting.
Yes.
And even you might want to just keep them in a private journal. I mean, this exploration can be tender and new for many of us.
Mhm.
You don't have to try and convince anyone else of your lived experience. So, um,
Yes.
should we do some readings?
Sure, we can.
I mean,
And
I could talk to you for hours.
I know, I know, I get it. It's always it's a joy to be with like-minded people, because there are so many things that we don't have to explain, that we just know. We trust that intuition. So you guys trust your intuition as well. Um, I will. Someone had asked earlier if we were using the giveaway tool to decide who gets a reading. I actually have 9 questions that have been starred, so we'll just stay with those 9. I'll tell you who they are, and if you can let me know that you're here, then we can go ahead and do that. So I have Connie B. Butterflies Are Free, Aunt B, Brina 41, Katharina or Katarina, Janice Outdated, Just Visiting, Kristen Chaffee, and Dorian. So if you can, please let me know that you're here, um, and that will be all those people. Oh, Janice is here. Perfect. Thank you, Janice. Um, yeah, so those will be the readings that we'll do. So please don't post anymore that you'd like a reading, because now they're closed. Okay. Yes. So we'll start off with okay. Hold on just a second. Who told me here that their uh, butterflies are free? We'll start with you. And butterflies would like to know uh, of a past life as well. Okay. So, oh, I'm going to be using the past life energy oracle cards just to tune in. So, and Daphne, if you've got something, go for it.
Yeah, I immediately saw that there are about 10 past lives that you're working with. It's almost like a I don't know, like an artist palette. You have 10, these 10 past lives are especially resonant in this lifetime. And I don't, I mean, I'm getting a sense that you're a creative person, definitely, but as someone who calls himself butterflies free, Butterflies are free. You've got that free spirit longing, whether or not you're able to absolutely live that way 100% or not, doesn't matter. You are free. And it's almost like a musical instrument, these 10 past lives, because you're pulling in energies and themes from all of them. And I don't Marina, can you focus in on a particular one? I'm getting a lot of energy where you were at odds with your community because you knew how to be free and happy and they didn't. They were like, no, you must follow the rules, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm getting is like 1640s, 1650s, um, part part of Europe, maybe in the Hungary area, somewhere in there. I see you as with idyllic memories. You very much wanted to be left alone, not because you felt that there was something wrong with you in that lifetime, but when you were alone, you liked the company you kept. So you were okay with kind of being isolated, being on your own. Part of the reason for that is I get Archangel Raguel, and this is all about justice, uh, discipline, harmony. You you wanted that lifetime to be harmonious. You could see that things that were happening around you that were unfair and unjust. And while you tried to speak out against that, um, I think you realize that, you know what, they're not going to listen. I'm just going to go do my own thing. And so off you went. I think it was a profound lifetime for you because you brought a lot of that, the ideas of justice and harmony with you to this lifetime. That I think one of the quickest ways that someone can lose your favor is to be unkind or to lie. So,
I saw you having a very difficult relationship with the church in your community. And, if you think about your little home, the meadow, the forest, that's where your heart was. But to go to this sterile, cold stone building where people were abusive to each other in the name of
yes.
religion, right? I think you saw through the performative nonsense of it. And that's something you might feel in this particular, that might still be here with you now. And you might just have an antipathy, like you're like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Those rules are nonsense. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love
Exactly.
that.
Wow. Yeah, she says, I sure did. Yes,
Yeah.
fabulous. Just fabulous. Okay. And then let me see who else. I should have actually written these down so that I would know who it was and who wasn't, but let's just keep going. Connie B. I would love to know who I was in my past life. Uh,
I, I don't know if you still love animals as much as you did in this particular past life, but I see you like you're surrounded by goats, right? And they're your friends and they have names and personalities and you know each of them and you care for each of them. And any animal that comes into your care, you just have so much love and tenderness for them. And fortunately, I mean, I think your community understood that and they were accepting of your relationship with these animals because I mean, that was the lifeblood of the community, these animals. That's where you got milk and meat and blood and the wool, the fibers that you needed for clothing and the leather and I think you did it all with great love in this particular lifetime that I'm picking up on.
mhm. Yeah. Absolutely. You were very, very resourceful. I get resourcefulness. You knew, you know how they say, oh, she could stretch a dollar. Yeah, you knew how to make every little thing count. Um, I don't think you were, you weren't rich, but you also um, that wasn't a life of struggle. You were very diligent in what you were doing, and very, very intelligent in that, you would, okay, I see you negotiating the sale of the wool from the sheep before it was even time. Like you would negotiate things well ahead of time. I think that made you very, it made you very important, to the people in the village and whatnot. I also got relationship repeat. So it feels like you're, when it comes to relationships, because you are so resourceful, and because you have relied on yourself so often, that relationships in this lifetime may be a little more difficult than they need to be, because you're not willing to relinquish any of that control, right? I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. Back off. So it's not that you don't want a relationship or you aren't in a relationship. You just like to know what's going on. You just like to keep an eye on things and kind of have the final say. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. And I bet you're still really, really handy. Like you can
Mhm.
still make things. And you just have no self doubt in that regard. I love that. I love that.
Yes,
That's a gift that you brought from that life.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And Aunt B says, I can't wait. I have often felt close to certain time periods and people. I'd love to know if I was right about my past lives.
I just
Yeah.
heard a big yes.
Yes.
does
Yes.
does that I can't wait mean that she's not here in the chat to have a live reading?
No, I think that,
Okay.
yeah, she said in the beginning, yes, she was glad
Okay.
to be joining. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have had so much fun. I mean, maybe the individual lifetimes weren't that pleasant, but I think you have always had an innate sense that this was a role, like in it being in a play. And you love to play it to the hilt, right? Like sometimes you make drama where you don't need to make drama just because this is like a propensity for you,
Mhm.
but it all serves a purpose. It all serves, and I, the more I explore, the more I think we are indeed for entertainment purposes, right? Like
Yeah.
humans may exist to bring levity and entertainment to the cosmos, right? I mean, how else do you explain what we're up
Yes.
to down here?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not unusual for us to resonate with things that are part of our memory, that are part of our cellular structure, that we can't see or understand. We just know that, there are um, certain things that just talk to us, and that's because the soul remembers and it feels comfortable. So when you're when you have an affinity for a certain time period, or a certain language, or a certain history, past, honor that. Honor that and say, oh, okay, yeah, I'd like to look a little further into that. Was I in there? So what I got for you was the Archangel Phanuel, which is very optimistic, right? That I think you've always been, or you have learned. Let me put it that way. You have learned how to be optimistic, how to see the positive side of things, and that's, I think, you you spent several lifetimes initially, um, kind of having to deal with self doubt. when it's a case of you know what you know, you just don't know how you know it, and having that questioned and mocked. So you um, that self-doubt was always part of a lot of the things that you did, until you discovered that you don't have to believe those things, that is someone else's version of who you are, and that you can honor what you know without explanation to anyone else. You don't have to validate it or confirm it to anyone else. And I think that's where you kind of went into you took on the optimism and realized that the optimism is working a lot better for you in this lifetime than the self-doubt.
And Aunt B, I would add that the sense of humor is a gift from God, and no
Yes.
matter how you put it into your life or into your relationships, know that that is a precious, precious talent. So
Yes.
wonderful.
Exactly. Exactly. All righty. And Brenna says, I would like to know who I was in a past life that is affecting me now. Okay.
I immediately saw you performing medical procedures and surgeries. And this seems very old. Like we don't even understand. Right now, we don't have a good understanding of our own history as a species. This is before. This was before most of recorded history. But you have a very finely tuned understanding of the physiology of humans. And even if you're not using it in this lifetime, it's something that people sense about you. Like you might be the person who always has bandages, or who knows what to do when somebody falls down. I don't know how you're expressing it, but that absolutely is affecting you in this life, and I would love to hear how.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I too get Archangel Raphael on here, and it's funny that I'm getting a lot of archangels that are coming up, which is fabulous. It just tells me they're here, and he is about love, healing, and miracles. Um, what in this particular lifetime, it's finding love, and it's about spouse, lover, so on. I think that you're the kind of person that people share their emotions with you, whether you want them to or not. They just do. They just see you as someone who is caring enough that they can trust you with their secrets. This might be a bit of a challenge in this lifetime, because if you're not ready to receive that kind of information, I think as an empath, you have a hard time saying no. So in this lifetime, maybe the idea is to put up boundaries and parameters around what you're willing to hear, and what you're willing to do, and what you're not willing to do, and know that you can absolutely say to someone that I truly appreciate you sharing this with me. I Let's just leave it at that. And I don't need to know more. Or you can share more with me at another time. You can put up those boundaries, so that what you're hearing is going to be useful to you in this lifetime. So absolutely. Okay, we still have just a second. All right, we have um, five questions left, and we're almost at 55 minutes. So what we'll do is, for the last five, is let's take turns,
Okay.
and we'll take it from there. So, all right. Here we go. Katharina says, hello, Marina and Daphne. Can you tell me anything about my past life? Thank you.
I immediately heard, which one? Like you have a lot of interesting past lives. Um, Not all of them were squeaky clean, let's say. And that's okay, right? You can learn lessons from every type of lifetime. Like even now, there are people who I have strife with in my life, and over my guides say that is a valid spiritual path. That what they're doing is a valid spiritual path. It's not for me, but yeah.
Yes.
So, Katerina, I am seeing you like in the early 1800s in Europe, and you love clothes. You absolutely love clothes. And you're not a person who has the type of income for the clothes that you want and you love. So you are very creative about how you gather up clothing, how you put it together. You might have even been a seamstress or a costumier for the stage. There is a lot going on with fabrics, and you appreciate the labor that goes into them. You know what it takes to make them look good. And I mean, it just, you have so much more style than all the rich people who have all the clothes and all the money, right? So I don't know how that's affecting your life now. Maybe you don't care anything about fashion, or maybe it's just like a something you appreciate as an art form. But there's something very beautiful about your relationship with clothing because it tells a story of the person who is wearing it. It's not shallow, it's not frivolous, it's really meaningful, and it's about humanity and our creative self-expression.
Wow, that's fabulous. Well done, girl. Excellent. Okay. And I've got Janice Updated. Would love to know about a past life. Okay. So I'm seeing you in um, the late 1800s, and you're like a young suffragette. Okay, you're not interested in following the rules of society in terms of um, you need to get married, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, you're also you're also male in that lifetime, and you're okay. What I heard was male but very in touch with feminine side. Okay. All right. So that's where the suffragette comes in. You were one of the men who was supporting the suffragettes, who understood what it was that they were trying to do, and who understood that there really is no difference between the male and the female. You're very successful in being able to push that agenda forward. You're very eloquent in being able to convince people that you know right is right, and tradition has a place, but traditions can change depending on what's going on. So I pulled success, and that is, yeah, someone who is successful in what it is that they're doing, and the things that they are sharing with others. And it is a financial professional success. So you were someone that people would listen to because you had a history behind you, which is interesting because I got career history as well. So, and this is someone you very much worked with people who made a difference in the lives of others. So you understood the workers, you understood the things that they brought to the success of the business. So yeah, very that I think that was a very rewarding life for you in terms of kind of being on the forefront of letting people know that they needed to listen to you. So I hope that that was helpful. Okay. And then we've got Just Visiting, who says, Daphne, I've had the same experience at the Louvre when I saw a statue of an Egyptian scribe.
That's
Uh,
fabulous. Yeah, yeah. And you're reminding me that you know how certain things are in fashion, like like people want to talk about Vikings or people want to talk about the Romans, right now. Well, 100 years ago, people were really interested in the Etruscans, and then Egyptology came in. So yeah, people reincarnate in groups, right?
mhm.
We all had this experience together in the past. It's not quite resolved. A lot of us are still thinking it over, still reading about it, still fascinated by it. Thank you, Just Visiting. I'm so glad you had that experience.
Yes.
I would absolutely love for you to meditate with Blue Lotus, right? You
Mhm.
can get a flower essence of that, and ask to be shown something about that Egyptian lifetime. I think you would really, really enjoy that travel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And she says, yeah, still want to go to Egypt. Go,
Yeah.
go. If you have an opportunity, absolutely go. So, all right. And then uh, Kirsten Chaffee says, it makes me confused about the essence of who I am or what I think is the essence of who I am. I feel like it is my love, my humor, but maybe I don't always carry those in the same way. You know, whatever it is that you're doing, Kirsten, do it do it from a place of faith and follow what is being told to you. So if you hear something that you know, all of a sudden your ego brain wants to say, "Oh, yeah, no, don't pay attention to that. That's just your imagination." Stop. Just stop for a minute, okay? Remember what it was that came to you, and then take a moment to examine where did that voice that told me that this is my imagination, where did that come from? Where did I hear that? Where did I get the impression that if I hear something that is going to help me move forward spiritually, that's not real, that's imagination? And dig deep as far as you can. And it's not something that's going to happen in a minute, right? It takes a little bit of work, but you can get to the root and you can narrow it down to something like, oh, okay, all right. So when I was younger and I played and I used my imagination and I told a story about something that happened using my imagination, and the adults around me made fun of it and told me that's not real. So I suppressed that in order to survive in that family unit or to survive with those morals or whatever they were. I suppressed that. And now I can, when you recognize it, you can let it go. You can say, well, you know what, that might have been true for me as a child when I had to make it through in those circumstances, but I'm an adult now. What comes to me, I trust what comes to me. And you'll see how quickly things shift and how much more you hear, how much more you give voice to. So I hope that is helpful to you. Okay. And then the last one is Dorian. Uh, my fears neck. Oh, fears, heights and bridges. I feel a past life.
Yeah. Dorian, what I'm getting is that it wasn't you who went off the edge of the bridge. It was you observed this. And this seems like this is a fairly recent lifetime, right? Like there are cars, and you watch somebody either commit suicide or be thrown off a bridge. And yeah, I'm just getting chills with this because what a horrifying, traumatic event to experience. And I think we bring those fears with us in order to heal them in this lifetime. So I'm, I don't know what would be the right way for you to heal that, but you might consider meditating on it and asking what is important to heal about that memory. And, being fearful of heights is one of our basic fears. We fear loud noises and heights as infants because those keep us safe. But in your case, you have that added layer of trauma of watching somebody die as a result. And you're a compassionate person and you felt it in your body. You have a visceral memory of watching this person die in this regard. I will tell you that my guides tell me that that person was removed from their body before the body hit the ground. So you don't need to worry that they felt that incredible pain as the body died. They were removed from that, and that experience. This is somebody in this lifetime, by the way. You two are tied, and part of your determination to know that person in this lifetime is because of the trauma. So this might be somebody who you're like, you don't even know why. Oops, sorry, my light almost fell over. You don't even know why you're in relationship with this person. And maybe you know who it is. Maybe you have an inkling of who it is. And once you resolve this, you'll naturally go your separate ways because, an uncle in World War I died of bridge. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you were there.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling like a young male. I'm seeing the helmet. I'm seeing I'm seeing the absolute physical trauma of the experience. And so maybe that's why you chose this family. And a lot of young people who die in a conflict like that, like in the Holocaust, they reincarnate much more quickly. And as a result, they bring that trauma with them. It's not resolved yet. So praying for this uncle, praying for all the people who died in that horrible war, praying for peace in your own heart, and doing everything you can to be as peaceful as you can be will go a long way towards resolving this. But what an amazing story that you brought to us. Thank you so much, Dory, and I hope this is of some comfort.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that we have an opportunity to do something like this again. And Daphne, thank you. That was just that was fun. That was fun. It was fun learning. And remember, you guys, go over to Daphne's YouTube. Not only subscribe, but take a look at some of the stuff that she has posted on there, listen to different recordings or shows. Pick up as much as you can, and know that you can access a lot of the same things that we do. And when it comes to memories, one of the courses that I offer is, and it's only a couple hours long, but it's called Change the Tape, and that is reviewing the things, the default tapes that play in your head in any given situation. That's the what it's a thing that you always go back to, and it's how to identify it, how to look at it, how to examine where that came from, and then how to change it so that the default of, oh, I'm not worthy, gets changed to, I handle life's little challenges with grace and humor. And it's amazing how much of a change that will make. So there you go. All right. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. Thank you, Daphne. I really enjoyed this. We'll have to do this again. And yes, folks, come and see me on next Saturday on the 29th for the 12th Shine Your Light event. And come and enjoy the good, fabulous energy. All right, everyone. Take care. And we'll see you later. Bye for now.